Hi, everyone. Welcome back for Chapter 9, which will cover renewable energy sources. This presentation will transition from the last chapter on non renewable energy sources, which examined fossil fuels and nuclear energy, how they are extracted, utilized, and their impact on the environment. This chapter will look at the current landscape of renewable energy sources. In this presentation, we will explore various aspects of renewable energy sources. We will have several learning outcomes, beginning with a discussion on specific examples of renewable energy sources. Next, we will explain what makes an energy source renewable. After establishing this, we'll discuss the many benefits of renewable energy sources. Solar energy will be a major focus, so we will cover how passive solar energy works and its applications, how solar panels work, and their limitations. In the same fashion as solar energy, our next topic will be wind energy. Then we'll discuss hydroelectric energy and geothermal energy. And lastly, the emerging biotechnology of biofuels and biomass energy and their current advancements. Accompanying these technologies, we will introduce the term carbon neutral and explain how biomass energy may or may not be considered carbon neutral. And to tackle this, we will need to briefly step back and review some concepts that we learned back in Chapter 2. Non renewable energy sources, which are sources of energy that have finite supplies and cannot be replenished within human timescales. In contrast, renewable energy is continuously available sources within a time frame relevant to human timescales. The Industrial Revolution marked a significant shift for many nations as they increasingly turned to non renewable energy sources, with fossil fuels taking a prominent role. As an illustrative example of this transition, we have this painting depicted on the right of the fighting Tamare, created in 1838. It portrays one of the last wind powered warships of the British fleet being towed to its final berth by a coal powered tugboat. This imagery symbolizes the shift in transportation at sea from renewable wind energy to non renewable coal based power sources. However, growing environmental concerns have driven a reemergence of interest and substantial growth in renewable sources, including solar, hydroelectric, wind, biomass, and geothermal energy, as we witness a renewed commitment to sustainable energy solutions. Due to the common use of non renewable energy, it is also referred to as conventional energy, and renewable energy is therefore the alternative energy. These sources include solar, hydroelectric, wind, biomass, and geothermal energy. The U.S. Energy Information Administration, EIA, is a federal agency within the United States Department of Energy, or DOE. Its primary mission is to collect, analyze, and disseminate energy related information to inform policymakers, businesses, researchers, and the general public. It provides analysis on various aspects of energy production, consumption, and markets in the United States. And in this chapter, we will be using a lot of data provided by the EIA, such as in the US as of 2022, only 13% of energy comes from renewables. Within that category, biomass accounts for the highest amount of energy production, measured in BTUs, followed by wind, hydroelectric, and solar, while geothermal is the least. You may have noticed that this figure shows that biomass contains renewable fuel sources such as wood and biofuels, and that, like non renewables, some of these categories are quite different from one another. Renewables can be further categorized as completely renewable, which for all intents and purposes are unlimited in their supply and includes solar and wind energy. While semi renewable energy can theoretically be renewed at the consumption rate if done so using sustainable management practices. And this would include the remaining categories such as biomass, hydroelectric, and geothermal. Before we delve into each of the major categories listed in this figure, it's essential to first comprehend the advantages of renewable energy sources. Firstly, renewable sources offer a cleaner and safer alternative. They don't pose the environmental and health risks typically associated with non renewable sources, like the dangers of oil spills or pipeline leaks. Furthermore, renewable energy is a key player in the fight against climate change and public health improvement. Most renewables do not add more greenhouse gas, such as carbon dioxide or methane, to the existing carbon cycle or other air pollutants, unlike fossil fuels, which contribute to these issues. Additionally, renewable energy has the power to reshape our energy landscape. It enables local power generation without the need for extensive electrical grids. This is a game changer, allowing homes, businesses, and isolated communities to harness energy from sources like solar and wind, ultimately enhancing the quality of life, especially in underserved areas. Finally, renewables offer stability in a turbulent world. In times of global events such as natural disasters or conflicts, fossil fuel prices, especially oil, can skyrocket. In contrast, renewable energy sources are less influenced by these destabilizing events, providing a more consistent and geopolitics independent energy cost.